Gio is out. He's on vacation. He'll be back on Monday, so I sit in with the Booms until 10 o'clock. There is so much to get to. We've got camps opening up in the NFL. We're talking the Giants. We're talking the Jets. There's news on the NBA front yet again. We'll get to that at some point this morning, but first and foremost, we start with the Subway Series. We start with the Mets. We start with the Yankees. We start with Edwin Diaz. Why not? Oh, what's this, Boomer? What's this? Oh, we are
We know what this is. We know what this is right here.
So last night at Citi Field, good morning, Boomer Esiason. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Jerry. It's always great to see you and to work with you full-time in the power chair. And I hope you're in a little bit better mood than you were yesterday.
I'm in as good a mood today as I was yesterday.
Guess what we're doing tonight?
Which is pretty damn good. We're maybe going to hear some horns tonight. Who knows?
Maybe we don't. Maybe
Max Scherzer.
Right.
With the start. So last night at Citi Field, this is the actual song by Narco, I think is the name. So last night at Citi Field, you can fade it out now. The Mets beat the Yankees in a really wild game, actually, because the way it started were the 2 home runs early, and you're thinking, wow, okay, well, the Yankees came to play, and it was Judge, and it was Rizzo, and there were so many different things to get to, and it winds up a Met win 6-3 where they get the insurance run by Jeff McNeil. There were things in between, of course, as you know. There was the big spot, I thought, in the 4th inning where you got Rizzo swinging 3-0 with the bases loaded, and I certainly thought he had a home run. And things went the Mets' way last night. There's the Joey Gallo pinch hitting we can get to, but all in all, if you're a Met fan, Boomer,
Joey Gallo pinch hitting, that's like doesn't sound.
It doesn't sound great, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
And it went the way you thought it would
especially against Edwin Diaz.
Yes, but all in all, a Met win, and you know what? You feel really good about the Mets this morning, and the Yankees, well, they've had a great season. They'll continue to have a great season, but last night, I think if you're a Yankee fan, you're very disappointed with what you saw on a number of different fronts.
Yeah, well, I have to fire first. Let me just start with the Mets starting pitcher.
Yeah.
Taijuan Walker, he wasn't great in the first inning for sure. You know, you give up a couple dingers, it's not great. But you know what? That guy, he grinded through 6 innings.
Sure did.
And, you know, as I was flipping back and forth from yes to SNY, and David Cohn was talking about taking out David Montgomery, and he agreed with Aaron Boone. And, you know, Montgomery was not happy about it because, you know, obviously he kind of fell flat on his face last night. So thinking on the other side of things, I wanted to hear about what they were saying about Taijuan Walker. That was a professional performance last night, even though after the first inning it didn't go his way. And he fought through, and he got all the way through 6 innings. And I swear to God, this Mets team gives up more infield hits, broken bat hits, and, you know, more guys on base. And, you know, it usually ends up in a double play. They're very good at creating double plays
and they almost
playing
did.
good defense. You know, Escobar makes a mistake, and, you know, they end up giving up a run, whatever. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it was a really gutty performance by Walker, and it wasn't so for Montgomery. Montgomery was just didn't have it. Now, here's the thing about Montgomery, though. If you look closer at the numbers and how good he was, do you know how many guys he got 0-2 with?
I thought Jordan Montgomery, to your point, I don't know what's the exact
He had like
answer.
10 guys that were 0-2,
So
and he gave up 5 extra base hits in situations where he was either 0-2 and 1-2.
And I thought if you were watching the game pitch by pitch, he was so close to being perfect because he got ahead of guys. And how many times did you see the ball just off the edge? He kept coming in on the right-handed batters. And, I mean, you know, out of his hand, you're thinking, all right, strike 3. Oh, just a little bit in. And he was getting frustrated, too.
I think he was getting mad at the umpire behind the plate that he wasn't getting a call here or there. That was probably the situation. But then something else happened again last night. It really struck me. You know how it struck me the other day about how the Yankees should get Juan Soto, and you lost your mind about that, and you just started hopping around like a bunny rabbit in the studio?
Right. Whack-a-mole.
Right. Yeah, well, whack-a-mole, bunny rabbit, whatever. But you were hopping around in the studio for people who didn't see it on TV.
Yeah.
And I still think the Yankees should go get him, and they should get him right now. I wanted the Mets to get him, but it seems like they're in on Contreras and they're in on Robertson, which would be great too. But here's the thing. I can't believe I'm going to say this because when this guy got here, this guy was a mess, and it was Brody Van Wagenen's big trade.
Yeah.
It was Robinson Cano and Edwin Diaz for this Jared Kelnick, whatever. You know, prospects are suspects. That's what they are. You never know what they're going to become. And, you know, we bit the bullet when it came to letting Robinson Cano go and eating the money. And that's with having a very wealthy owner and somebody who is committed to your team winning will do in the middle of a season, and I appreciate that. And what has been born out of all of this. You ready for this?
Oh, boy.
Are you ready?
I can't wait. Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yes.
Sit
If you
down.
say Juan Soto, I swear I'm going to hit you. No, I'm just kidding.
You're sitting down. Right?
I'm sitting down.
We're witnessing the next coming of Mariano Rivera with the Mets. This guy's awesome.
He is awesome.
He is throwing gas.
I agree.
Man. And his slider,
Let's
his
relax.
92 mile an hour.
How about
Mariano had to start somewhere.
I know that.
Right?
I know
okay,
that.
he had to start somewhere.
Before you call him the second coming of Mariano
Why
Rivera.
can't I say that?
Where he has how many years? 15 years of dominance?
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Let's get him through one.
He had to start somewhere.
He did.
He had to start somewhere.
He did.
And I'm telling you that he has been so dominant that for all the crap that he took the first year that he was here, and I understand his performance deserved all the criticism and all the
2019 was one of the worst closing performances I've ever seen.
It was, and he lost his confidence, and maybe he just didn't understand New York or whatever the situation was. But somebody saw something in him that is allowing him to become what we're seeing now. And I have to say, when he got in the game last night, 4 straight strikeouts, I'm like, yeah, this thing is on lockdown. That's how I felt like when I used to watch the Yankees, and I was jealous of Mariano Rivera. And I was jealous that they had the greatest closer of all time.
And you've got a kid now who looks like the kid that was in Seattle. 2 things, though. So 2019, he came here. It was horrific for him. We know that. And do not misunderstand what I'm going to say, because there's nothing good about the pandemic we went through. So don't misunderstand me. But he got a little bit better in 2020, and he was afforded that. Why? He wasn't pounded and booed every time he went out there because there were no fans. Got a little bit better in 2020. He was even a little bit better last year.
And
then
this
year, he's
every
better
year.
than he was in Seattle.
Jerry, he's getting better every year.
Yeah,
and
he has.
This is why I'm saying maybe, just maybe, we're seeing the second coming of Mariano.
Well, at least for this year, he certainly can be that, because he has been that. And beyond, and you're right, the 92-mile-an-hour slider is filthy.
Oh, my God.
Last night, what really caught my eye, though, was that 100-mile-an-hour fastball that went up and in on the righty and up and out on the left. That was the pitch I think Rizzo struck out on in the half swing.
Yeah.
Just nasty how
Jerry,
fast that thing tailed away.
They can't hit it. They can't hit it, just like they couldn't hit Mariano for the most part.
And he puts himself in trouble. Not even puts himself, but he gets himself in trouble in the 9th inning with the infield single, and then you get the ground ball that he slips out of his hand when he goes to throw to get the force play at second. And then, man, Rizzo, see ya, and I guess it was it Torres? I think the last out, Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, good night.
Was the last out. See ya.
I mean, when he is
on.
on,
that?
I mean, but let's face it. As a Met fan, I feel really good this morning. I felt good yesterday morning when I came in here, and I was thinking about Juan Soto and all of that stuff. But I got to tell you, man, this was and again, you have Starling Marte right in the middle of it.
Yep.
Escobar's in the middle of it. I know he hasn't had a great year. Those are both Billy Epler signings. You got, Pete Alonso doing what he normally does.
I know this is going to sound weird because we're talking about Diaz and Escobar in the home run, and there's a lot of different things. If not for Pete Alonso last night, they ain't winning this game. Pete Alonso was on base every single time. He's driving in big runs. He was awesome. Lindor's getting on base.
This was a great game. It was one game out of 162, but it was a great game. But it made me start to think about what potential really could be, and seeing how the players were responding to the crowd.
You know what Escobar said about that? About the crowd and last night? So when he hit the home run, felt like a World Series game. That's cool.
And so, all right, so the player is saying that.
Yeah.
And, all right, let's all keep everything in perspective. I'm just saying that what I see from my closer is very, very similar to the many great years of Mariano. I'm not trying to insult Mariano at all. I think he's the greatest of all time. And I'd like to think that my closer knows that, and that this is what his goal is, to be that good for that many years.
It should be. And for this year, he has been that. And he might, in some cases, he's been even more dominant at times.
Right. And I think that, even more dominant than Mariano?
At times. Because
wow.
I said in specific times.
Yeah.
Not.
Wow. It's amazing that you're right there with me.
I am with you. I know.
But I don't
want to say he's going to be Mariano, because you got to put together a Hall of Fame 15-year career to do that.
I didn't say he was that yet.
But it has been
unbelievable. I feel like we have
year.
the second coming of that.
Maybe. You might.
Right. So I'm allowed to say that right now.
You can say that.
And, listen, he did some goofy things, but at the most part, like when he is throwing that gas, I mean, when Aaron Boone looks down and says, Joey, go grab a bat.
See,
I'm
I
like-
actually
I'm like-
all right, so
I'm
two
like,
things.
why?
All right, hold on. So first things first, and let's be clear, too, about the Mariano thing. As great as this has been, until he does it in the postseason, I don't even think we should put his name with Mariano together.
Oh, now you're backtracking.
Well, no.
Now you're backtracking.
No, but
You're
because
just backtracking
because
right
the
now.
brilliance of Mariano, as great as he was what he did in October. In October, you got a lead aside from Arizona. Before you say anything, Eddie, because I can see you festering over there. Yes, he had a moment here or there, but for 15 years, October baseball was Mariano's
I
time.
understand that.
Let's
and I
have the Mets
understand.
do something in the postseason with Diaz
But
closing it
I'm
out
just
first.
saying, look, let's face it. The last couple times we see Diaz out there, he's like unhittable.
He has been all season. The one thing about Gallo, and I get it, he's not. I can't imagine he's going to be here much longer. I really can't. He strikes out. What was the number they showed on SNY? 40,
Oh, it's ridiculous. He's batting
45%. I know what he's
160.
batting. Trust me. I'm the first one that told everybody when he comes here, he's going to strike out a ton and hit some home runs. He hasn't hit as many home runs as I thought, but whatever.
Jerry, you know why?
I did understand to a point. You got Ottavino on the mound. You're trying for the game-tying home run.
Yeah.
He's a home runner, strikeout guy. They took a shot. Unfortunately, they brought in Diaz, and he blew him away.
Yeah, Jerry, I was telling you yesterday that there's an easy solution for the Yankees.
Oh, God.
And you know who it is.
Do you think if they lose tonight that drives them even closer to Juan Soto, especially now that Mr. Giancarlo Stanton isn't just exhausted, but he's got Achilles tendonitis?
Yeah. Well, I think the Yankees' biggest problem right now is pitching. Their starting pitching is kind of like waning. They're 10-11 in July. They're not getting the performances that they were getting earlier on in the season, and they have to fix their bullpen or add arms to their bullpen, significant arms.
As do the Mets.
That's why I think the Mets are in on Contreras and Robertson, like I was saying yesterday, and then all of a sudden all those reports are out there. So I feel, the Mets are going to do something. We know that. The question is, are the Yankees going to go in all in for Juan Soto and then try to add bullpen depth somehow? Now, I'm telling you, if the Yankees got Juan Soto here, it would be ridiculous. The place would explode. It would be amazing. It would be amazing for Yankee Stadium, for Yankee fans. Yankee fans out there could probably say whatever they want about, adding another bat, adding more money, whatever. I don't really care. It's not my money. It's their money. But for Yankee fans, to me, they need a shot in the arm. They need some like vitamin B or something because they look flat.
It can't just be Aaron Judge every game. You know, you need more. And with Stanton out, all of a sudden there's a little bit of punch that they're lacking.
Really,
and you had good plays too. You had Tomas Nido throwing behind the runners on the second and the first. And second
that was great. He got
steal.
threw the guy out. Yeah,
and partly because Rizzo. Well, not partly because Rizzo's foot comes off the bag. Otherwise, it would have been executed properly. And Taijuan Walker, the pickoff play on Connor Falefa.
Oh, great.
Big play in that game too. And it was funny. I don't know if you were on SNY at that point or yes, but they were basically talking about how Walker kind of lulls you to sleep. He doesn't really show you the move. He just kind of tosses it over.
He's got one of the best moves in baseball.
Then a little bit faster, and then bam.
Bam, here it comes.
And Connor Falefa said they had the scouting report. They were ready for it. He said he was waiting for the throw over, and it still beat him over to first base, which is pretty wild when you actually think about how well that was executed.
I love when Yankees get picked off. Just great. Yeah, it's not good fundamentals. Can't get picked off like that.
To his credit, though, as Connor Falefa said, he was ready for it, and yet the ball still beat him there because it was that good.
Right.
And I actually thought it's funny they're showing the replay. I thought they were going to challenge that play, and you had the two challenges in the one inning. But I thought he was close to safe.
Yeah, well, close to safe is fine, but he was out.
Well, I'll take a look.
Jerry, he was out.
To at least take a look.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
he
I'm
was out.
saying.
It was a great. He's got a great move.
He does have a great move.
One of the best moves as a right-hander in all of Major League Baseball. And he pitches for the Mets, by the way.
And the fact that he got through six, as you said, to open this is remarkable to me because he seemed like in that first inning, it was only solo home run, so it wasn't a killer. For me, though, it was that fourth inning, and I thought he wasn't going to be long. I actually thought there was a chance he wasn't coming out for the fifth because he loaded the bases. He wound up getting out of it. And again, they give Rizzo the green light, and you're thinking when he hit it, I thought it was a grand slam. But he gets out of it, and he got him through six. And all you had to do last night was the perfect formula. You had Walker to Ottavino to Diaz.
That
Done.
probably would have been a home run in Yankee Stadium.
Well,
they hit a lot of Little League home runs there.
This was not to the short porch and right.
This is a ballpark, man.
This was to left
This is baseball.
center.
This is where pitchers pitch.
Pitchers pitch.
Right.
Yes. And by the way, speaking of pitching, who pitches tonight?
Scherzer. Are we going to see Herman? Cole? We're going to see Cole.
I see Domingo Germán as the listed probable starter. You didn't get Domingo Germán right? I never heard that one before.
Germán.
Yes, you're right about what you're saying, but Jacob deGrom. So you look at what you see with this Met team. You're talking about moves that might be made down by next Tuesday, and what's another move that could be made?
Well, that's going to be Jacob deGrom's going to be active,
which is
that's like picking up a great guy at the trade deadline,
like picking up a Cy Young Award winner at the trade deadline.
Maybe that's what they're waiting for, to make it happen right there on August 2nd, so he can pitch on that day, and then they can say, this is like adding a guy at the trade deadline,
and then you'll have him ready to pitch against.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. But that was, you know what? I wanted an entertaining game, and it didn't start out the way I wanted it. But
it was entertaining.
After the first inning, I was pretty happy.
Al texted me in the first inning, said, this is my type of game. And I said, yep, lots of fans, lots of runs.
And it looked good. I mean, the fans were into it. Both the Yankee fans and the Met fans were into it. I applaud everybody. We'll be there tonight.
We will be there.
Looking forward to that.
Absolutely. 7:10 start. Max Scherzer on the mound. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
So what are you doing after the show today? How are you working this out?
Well, I have to go home.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want to spend the whole day with you.
No, me neither. No, please.
I mean, I got to spend 4 hours with you here.
I agree. That's enough. And then 3 hours tonight, that's enough. No, I have to go home. I have some things to do, and then I'll head back in around 3:30.
Things to do? You taking a train? What are you doing? You
driving
here?
I'm driving to Citi Field.
Oh, you're going to drive to Citi Field?
I always drive to Citi Field.
All right. Need a parking pass?
If you have one, I'm taking one. If not, I'll pay my $25 or $30.
I'll get a parking pass for if you need it, Jerry. Parking pass. Anything
this is awesome. No, you hold on to your parking pass.
By the way, you're buying food tonight.
Fine. You hold on to your parking pass.
You're buying food tonight. I'm furnishing the tickets, and this is the way it works. If somebody invites you to go to the game,
did I not say fine?
Say, hey, can I have a $50 beer, please?
I think there's $16, so you get 3 of them for that amount.
Oh.
I actually partook in that last time I went to Citi Field a few weeks ago. I actually never did that
I don't
before.
like to drink during the
No,
week,
but they had, what they had was Corona on tap. That was kind of cool. You don't see that often. I think that was in the Piazza Lounge.
They make more money by doing it on tap than selling
I know they do.
bottles.
But you also don't get that often. So that was in the I think that was in the Piazza Lounge because we went to the Caesars Club too for a moment. Yeah.
Is there a place to go over there to have dinner? Would you like to have dinner somewhere? Like have a sit-down dinner?
Yes, if you would like to, and I will buy. If you would like to go to the Caesars Club, if we have access to that.
I have access to everything pretty much.
So pick your place, and I will pay for dinner.
No, I don't want you to do that.
All right. Well,
I mean, I don't want this.
You just said
no. You could buy me a couple beers and a hot dog or something. I know you have all these restaurants and all this other crap. I just want to sit and enjoy the game. And the nice thing about going with you and who else we're going with is that I don't have to worry about, can you excuse me up in and around? Like Craig was all over the place.
I will not be all over the place.
Was a pain
Matter of fact, I'm
such a pain in the ass going to these games.
Here's how I go.
Yeah.
App on the phone, we order, they bring it to us.
Nice.
That I like. Then you don't have to get up.
But I got to tell you, man, this is 2 days in a row, man. Where I woke up this morning, man, I felt great.
You should feel great.
I really feel good, especially with Edwin Diaz and what he's turning into. Like
and
our Mariano.
Yeah, well, let's relax with that. But a very good win for the Mets last night.
You agreed with me.
I agree with you that there's a chance he could turn out to be as effective this year.
Yeah.
But to sit there and say he's going to be Mariano.
Well, he's our new Mariano.
I mean, this is step one of 440 that he would have to take.
Think about where we were in 2019 with him.
Yeah, you wanted him out.
And think about where we are. Well, everybody else wanted him out.
So did you.
Look, he had a horrific year. And maybe the worst year a closer could have ever had, especially coming to a new team with expectations. And then somehow this guy has fought through all of it, and now he is like a hero. And, it should be kind of like a cautionary tale for every player that ever comes to New York and plays and fails to a certain point. Because even like you could say Francisco Lindor hasn't really lived up to his contract.
No, but he's been good
better,
this year.
And he's been very good defensively.
Yes, he has been.
And he's had some key hits.
And he's been a run producer. Everybody looks at the batting average. He drives in runs and he scores runs.
But sometimes I wonder about what he's thinking about when he's on the bases. Sometimes it's a little worrisome.
I suppose. He's been really good, though, this year. Better than the batting average would dictate.
You would think that his on-base perception and, understanding of what's going on in the game, sometimes he just doesn't think.
20 after 6,
right?
Where you're just getting started. I suppose. I actually think he's had a really good year. So I don't worry about him on the bases. I know what happened last night with the overthrow. He didn't realize the pitcher was backing up the play. I get it. But he's had a really good year.